And the fade in.
I know. Am I going to show?
Oh, everyone gets the fade in. You get the pop in.
Yeah, it's like I changed the source. I got to figure out what it is. Anyhow, let's do it. T.
We got the shilling on autopilot now. That's sweet.
What's that?
We just have that little banner rolling now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I dig that.
Give me one moment here. I am gonna drag all our stuff out of the view for everybody. And I can do that all from over here, actually. I don't even need to look that way. Anyhow, yeah, the shilling, I'm not even gonna address that.
It's on autopilot now.
We do have a new thing for everybody, which is not a lot.
Well, if anybody's out there in chat, you'll now show up in the stream.
Yeah, I'm actually, I included the sad, lonely place that is chat sometimes for the rest of the world, hopefully. I'll see it because it's right in front of my eyeballs.
I can catch a little corner of it there, so if something pops up.
Yeah, I need like, what's it called? Like I need somebody like, hey.
Some what?
Tapping me on the shoulder, like somebody saying, hey, chat.
Well, I can at least see. I could be the notification bell for you there.
Right, but I need like somebody, you know what I mean? Like, right. I'll just hire somebody to stand behind me and monitor the chat. Jeez, man. So anyhow, have you heard anything about Toy Story 4?
No, just that it came out. Why?
Yeah, right. My kid wants to go see it.
Okay.
And I'm wondering if it's gonna fall in the topic of today's episode. Is because the first three were massively successful, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah. I mean, I saw the first one when I was a kid, and then I didn't really keep up on them too much. So
right.
But yeah, I heard they all did well. What, is this one not performing well or something? Or
I don't know. No, you know what? I bet that didn't work like I think it worked. I bet I just muted.
Ooh.
That's the bad thing about remote control for anybody that's doubting. All right, I muted it on my side, not the stream side.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, for anything part of the budget is going to go into hyping it up. Mm-hmm. And I mean, there's different ways to build hype, and we'll cover some of them. What's one of the biggest, probably, hype failures, or whatever we want to, you know what I mean? Hype flop, whatever, that you, current memory, or not current, but like recent in your lifetime.
Well,
because I'm sure this goes all the way back.
Yeah, I was having trouble finding examples of stuff from like older than 20 years ago, but most recently would be No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
I mean, because they had just outright lied about stuff that was going to be in the game that wasn't.
Oh, they did lie?
Well, yeah.
I mean, a big part of that was, and I've talked about this before, and my biggest concern was they had like people that were testing the game, developers, people making the game. Mm-hmm. They'd get like rooms full of people, like a theater, and set up gaming on a big screen and have the person there showing it off. Mm-hmm. And they're showing you can go collect this and go here and collect it. But they never got to the point of to what end. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's supposed to still be sandbox. Like you make your own. Like there's like one loose objective of getting to the center of the galaxy or whatever.
Right.
But other than that, yeah, it's just it's like Minecraft. Make your own fun.
Right.
That's the
idea.
And
that's they never really addressed that point. He just like showed. It was basically like a half-hour video or 20-some minute video. This developer showing it off, saying, "Yeah, you can collect all this stuff." Mm. And like not actually addressing what's the point of the game.
Well, a lot of that does go into like base building and stuff now,
right?
But that's like stuff that got added in years later.
Yeah.
So I guess technically, like they might not have. They spoke too soon. Maybe didn't lie exactly. You know what I mean?
A little too soon. I'm thinking a little bit, definitely.
But I think there's still stuff like that's not. That they promised before, like leading up to launch, it's still not in there too. But slowly but surely, they're making it closer to that game. But at this point, I think that ship sailed. It flopped.
Right.
Like
there's all kinds of stuff. Two perfect examples that aren't games. movies. In the 80s, wizards and magic and dragons and shit was huge.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then I don't know when they made the original Dungeons and Dragons movie, maybe in the 90s.
Yeah. Crap, we have it. Yeah, it didn't. I think it had a Wayne's brother in it, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
it's like
was
yeah.
horribly bad, and it did not honor like true fans of it at all whatsoever.
It was more of, I remember seeing it. It was more of just like an action movie, like a bad action movie plot, kinda.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that, and they had like really hammed up acting.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
just wizards reaching for this guy. Like, yeah, no, it was real bad. And there was that, and then Crawl.
What's Crawl?
Just one of those sci-fi, not sci-fi,
Crawl,
but
like,
fantasy
it's like-
Crawl.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I remember hearing about it, but that's all. Like I know
mean,
it exists.
Dude, and it's not like this is something. This happens over and over and over again. If you think of Conan, are you thinking of Jason Momoa or Arnold?
Arnold still, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
After this many years, it's Arnold.
Yeah.
True, that dude was awesome in Stargate Atlantis and any other Stargate episodes where he crossed over in. I guess he was good as Aquaman. Some people said it was badass. I don't know.
I didn't know that he was Aquaman in Stargate.
No, he was Aquaman,
Yeah.
but he was also in Stargate Atlantis.
Oh, okay.
He was in Game of Thrones.
That's where a lot of people still remember him.
Right. Yeah, I remember him before all the fame. He was just in Stargate.
Oh yeah, I didn't get it. Yeah, you always give me shit for not watching Stargate.
Yeah, he started out like a model. I don't really get into it for like the tech and the science, even though the science is on par. Like
Okay.
they don't like, it's kept in reality as close as they can for doing stuff that's impossible. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
like
it's
loosely reality based with proper terminology, but
it's for the plot. It's just a car, It's just like point A to point B, and like you can write like a little bit around like the car breaking down. But
Right.
They don't like focus around it as like a story aspect too much. Like it's just part of the setting.
Yeah, I don't know. I got into it for like the real cheesy and the MacGyver aspect because Richard Dean Anderson was in the original SG-1.
Okay.
But just basically the cheesy costume, cheesy acting, and the story arcs. Some of the story arcs were like edge of the seat shit. If you're into sci-fi, which I am clearly, but yeah, that's where I saw him originally, was there, not Game of Thrones. This
Game of
was
Thrones is
years
where-
before
yeah.
Game of Thrones. I know a lot of people may know him from there, but hey, not me, man. Way back.
Classic Momoa.
Yeah, classic. It was actually it's pretty wild, like his character. I'm not going to go into it, but it was a good story. Go watch it, Stargate Atlantis, people. You can get it. I believe in you. You can get that truck louder. That's a sissy truck.
Just cut the exhaust all the way out.
Yeah, I know. Just right at the headers. Just
Yeah.
unbolt the headers.
That'll do. Yeah.
All right. Anyhow, man, back to our. So you named what?
No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky was terribly bad, and I didn't even pay for it, download it, nothing. I learned because it was literally day one. People were like, you know what I mean? Yeah. I want to bring up a couple. Two of them are Apple related.
Okay.
Okay, so Steve Jobs, the late great, one of the founders of Apple, right? He had a thing with computers and wanting to make them cube shaped. He did it with the company Next, I think, that he worked for, and then when he came back to Apple, I think in 96, 97, I think, he tried to make the Power Mac G4, like the G4 Cube. It was like, and from a distance, it was like an aluminum cube. So it looked like it was floating because it was in clear acrylic. You know what I mean? So yeah, he did that, and it had a crazy, like I think like $1,600 is what that thing retailed at back then.
And 90s money.
No, man. Yeah, the cube computer is a cool idea. Don't get me wrong, but you got to make it. Well, not really. I mean, look at the Nook. Intel's Nook, they got them down pretty small.
Oh, the little like it's basically like a computer that's like
No,
triple.
it's a little box. It's basically the size of a vase amount and yay thick.
Okay, I've seen like
The compute stick.
yeah, that's what I'm
Those were hyped up and they didn't.
well,
They were cool. They were cool. I'll give it that. But
if you wanted something you could plug into a TV and write up a document, maybe. But like,
yeah, but
other
you're
than
not.
that, like,
You're not gaming.
No.
You're not doing.
you're not even you're gonna have trouble like running Chrome.
After a while, yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, it's about the size of a cam link. If anybody knows what that is, if you don't, how about an Amazon Fire Stick? Mm-hmm. Plugs in HDMI, has a USB port on it, has a micro USB to power for other power. I think additional, maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
Had Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, all this built onto an HDMI dongle, basically.
Yeah.
Amazing technology. Intel pushing, the boundaries with what's possible. But I remember people talking about it at a job, at a business. I remember hearing other people talk about it in public. Sorry to say, man, it did not live up to its potential. I mean, maybe in 20 years
So
revisit it, but
yeah. So what was Steve Jobs' flop though?
well, the G4 Cube,
Okay,
that was one. And there was another one. He's the one that put a stop to it. It wasn't his flop, but it was an Apple related. Apple made a gaming system.
I think I heard about that.
Yeah, it was in, Bandai made it, but Apple was behind it. Mm-hmm. The Apple or Bandai Pippin, a gaming console. Then demand from the crowd. Like they had a footprint, they wanted to do it this way. One certain way they were going to build it, and then the crowd demanded, hey, we want something that can connect to the internet. And they're like, oh shit, we totally got to change
Was this
how
like,
this thing's made. And it ended up being PowerPC based.
okay? Was this like around like the Dreamcast days, like when computers, like when consoles were first getting online?
Yeah.
Okay.
They stopped production on it in 1997. Actually, let me pull this up. I do have some stuff for reference. So now I just have to remember. I got buttons I can hit. Let's go to the browser. Okay. Unpin. Get out of my face. I don't like you. The Apple Pippin. This is what it looks like. I pulled some pictures up. Just the Bing results. Kind of Dreamcasty. Mm-hmm. I can see where Nintendo might have got some of their ideas for like the Nintendo 64 controller and other subsequent or later controllers.
Yeah.
Let's go back up now. And then we got the wiki. There's a whole slew of info here about it. So anybody wants to look it up. That is the console. They did a white one, a black one. There were different names for them. I don't remember the details.
Did they actually release?
They did, but that's kind of one of the things. When Steve Jobs came back to Apple, let me switch back. When he came back to Apple, and I'm back. I'm back. All right.
Sweet.
When he came back to Apple in 97, one thing when he was gone from Apple, and I think maybe even before they put him out originally, and then his absence from Apple, because he was not in the company anymore, there was a large, kind of what goes on today with Hackintoshing. Mm-hmm. Okay. But it was clones. There was like clone hardware that you could take and build this computer and put Mac OS on it. And it was like back in the days of Mac OS 9 and before they came out with OS 10, which was on PowerPC, and then moved over when they got partnered with Intel processors. Yeah, it was pretty bad, the whole cloning movement. I mean, every time Apple would release something, there would be clones of it, like almost instantaneously. So they were trying to keep ahead of them. Well, when he came back in, I think 97 it was, he put a stop to it all, like the cloning Apple computers. Mm-hmm. And in that movement, with the decision he made, it killed the Pippin.
Okay.
Because, you know what I mean?
Just easy to clone too.
Well, not really easy to clone. Let me see. I'll try and pull it up, actually, why it happened. Let's see if we can scroll down here. Are they going to say something about it? marketing failure. Pippin, no idea, man, without getting into it further and further. I'm not going to read that whole article. This is just paragraphs after paragraph. PowerPC. Yeah, no. But no, it just, because there was no rule, like law against it or whatever. Like, because Apple, I don't know the specifics of it, but I know that they didn't want it happening. And when he came back, he's like, enough. You're not running our software on your hardware.
So he was just kind of locking down everything.
He was locking down the software. Like, if you want our software, you're going to buy our hardware. And that, the way that the Pippin, how it was made by Bandai, and then later another company bought a license for it. So they were the sole producers of it. It locked everybody out, and Apple didn't keep up on it.
Okay.
I know they had plans for it, but it was just 97, dude. Like, I don't know what could have came out on it. I know internet connectivity. It would have been modem based.
Dial up. Yeah.
And that was one of the problems at the time too. I remember I read this, and I've read it years ago, so I'm pulling from years ago when I looked this up, people. Apple had a way of emulating a modem in software rather than hardware, but they couldn't do that with the Pippin. That's why they had to change like the whole the processor, what it was going to be. But yeah, just Apple with a gaming console.
Yeah, I heard about that before.
They're not a gaming company,
and that was back in the day too, when like if Sony didn't release a because Sony releasing a gaming console was like, whoa, I thought you were like Walkman and like stereo stuff. So that was.
But look at them now.
Yeah, yeah.
And look at the success, dude, of the PlayStation, the OG, not the Mini, but the OG PlayStation. The Tomb Raider series debuted on that. Crash Bandicoot, just so many good games. Final Fantasy.
I think like a better analogy for the Apple one would be the Xbox, because it's a software company doing the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And there was a product Bill Gates wanted to release too. I can't remember what it is. I should have looked it up. Let me get it back up here. So kind of a failure. A company had bought, I think, like 200,000 units or so of those. And then Steve came back and just like, nope, nobody's doing it. And they were just kind of like, oh, shit, we're stuck with these. And they literally were selling them any way they could. Like, oh, your kid wants one? And, somebody high up in the company that had bought those, like, here.
Just,
yeah, like out of the back, whatever.
Yeah, back a truck,
by any means necessary. Like Sublime getting their band equipment.
Wonder, they're probably worth a little bit nowadays since there were so few of them.
Yeah, I would think so, man. I got to get my screen back now. I'm trying.
Go, man.
Failing. Anyhow, moving on. What do we got? What's left?
So, keeping it tech related.
It's all tech related, man. I love tech, but some of it just.
But the Google Glass, that was supposed to revolutionize how we interface with phones. It was just condense everything down to on your face, and that was going to be it.
Right.
Yeah.
Approach me when it's a contact lens, okay? When Google Glass is a contact lens, and I can play AAA games that are coming out 10 years from now, okay, that's, let me know.
Yeah, it's the technology is not that small yet.
I mean, I know they had a presentation of it, and they hired a BMX, like a couple BMX riders to come. Like one had one on, and he came in like doing some tricks, like jumping down, I think, from high spots and whatnot to get into the stage. It was a whole big thing, and it was hyped. But it was
there's a camera on there.
Yeah,
too,
there's
right?
a camera on it, so you could live stream with it and everything. A very cool idea.
I think the thing that really killed it though was just like the looks of it. Like people were like, "Man, that looks so weird."
Yeah. Like it. Had they tried it today, I think people would be more open to it.
Yeah, a little before its time.
Yeah, and that can be a huge detriment to products and ideas and movies and whatever. Like
jumping ahead too quick.
Right. Yeah. Have you ever seen the movie Bad Taste with it's a Peter Jackson movie. You know who Peter Jackson is?
Yeah. Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, but before that for like obscure horror stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and Bad Taste was named as such because the movie was in bad taste, and it was like B horror movie like special effects. It's a genius movie. It has a huge cult following, but yeah, it just I don't know. I liked it. I dug it, but it's not for everybody. Yeah, he made it though. Peter Jackson. I mean, he made King Kong.
Yeah.
There's so many great movies later, but back then, and I think he even starred in it. I'm not sure if he was. I
I
think
think
he
he
might
was
have
in
been
a
in it.
couple. Yeah. I didn't get into those movies, but yeah, those were like cult following cult movies from the 90s, right?
Yeah. So I'll try. I will try and give another. We're gonna flip over. Oh, you did it. Get out of there. Here's another one. This is one I heard about, and already I thought, like, dang, there's rules, there's laws that this cannot happen, and this did fail. I don't know if the company went bankrupt, and I pulled up the old. This is Indiegogo. They were originally on Kickstarter.
So what? This is
I'm gonna pull it up for
a backpack
everybody.
that's like a
It's
mobile.
an eye backpack. It has powerful batteries. So let me scroll down through some of this here. They raised a heck of a lot of money. Originally, it was on Kickstarter, and they disappeared off Kickstarter, I think, and set up on Indiegogo.
So what? It's like a Wi-Fi hotspot too.
Well, yeah, there was all kinds of upgrades. You could go from the 1.0 to 2.0 expansion upgrade, $75. But power pack to Wi-Fi upgrade, that's $65. A monolith, 50,000 milliamp battery.
Okay. So what?
You
it's
can't
just-
take anything above, like, I think 9,000 milliamps on a plane. So if you're
Oh.
planning on packing your stuff up and
Yeah.
taking a flame plate or a flight on a plane,
a flame plate.
yeah, a flight plane. Yeah, I know. Planes flying across the flat plane of the earth, right? An FE slip.
Okay. So, but are you allowed to carry whatever you want, just like walking around?
Yeah, but it was like a backpack, but you could charge stuff, Wi-Fi hotspot, and they would connect with each other to create like a network and have Wi. You know what I mean?
I mean, like wearable technology is supposed to be like on the verge of breaking out here soon.
Right.
So,
But nobody's quite done it right, aside from like gimmicky shirts that.
there's a couple of jackets that like seemed okay, but like
Right. But do you own one?
no.
Okay.
But, well, that's the thing. Like they're overpriced for what like you can do. You can accomplish the same thing with your phone. You know.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Yeah. But just let me switch back now. The 50,000 milliamp battery. That's ridiculous, man. And they also had an eye backpack bulletproof Kevlar insert you could put into it. I mean,
okay, yeah. Because
Is it-
you're gonna need that.
is it to keep you safe or like your MacBook or your Dell or
well,
whatever?
no, it's gonna keep your well, presumably both, but
Right.
yeah. What's that?
That's the 1.0 power pack, $169.
Okay.
That was 20,000 milliamp main battery, flashlight, smart cables, retractable power cord, USB wall plug, 4 USB ports, micro mini USB port, Bluetooth speaker controller, iPhone, Android mobile apps, lost stolen bag retrieval system, waterproof personalized luggage tags, ID cards, key fobs, RFID blocking pouches, and YKK zippers, which if you have any bags, usually any quality bag will have a YKK zipper on. It's just literally a company that makes other stuff, but they make good zippers.
So it's controlled through an app?
I mean, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
iBackpack Y 1.0. Like, they had all these upgrades on this thing, and they made a lot of money. I believe this was the one that was on Kickstarter and then went over to, or no. It was another company. I don't want to say that.
Well, Kickstarter, you need a prototype.
Right, a working prototype.
Yeah. So they went maybe from there to Indiegogo.
I don't know if it was this company, but I know these never shipped. This is from, it's closed. If you scroll down, you can see right here, concept, prototype, production, and it hasn't shipped. And
they aren't taking new orders?
I don't think so, man. It's from 2015.
Oh, okay. Ooh, yeah, they really, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Almost 4 years there. You ain't getting your back. Wow. Wow, yeah. So all that's going to be, is going to show up pretty dated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 USB 2.0 ports.
Oh, there's been so many Kickstarter and Indiegogo like flops where like they're basically scams, you know?
Well, here's the thing, because there's some awesome ideas. And And it's like, okay, if you can really do that, and the awesome ideas that make tons of money, like instantly in the first 30 days of the campaign, they just make millions or hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's because it's probably either nearly impossible, you know what I mean? Or it's a really great idea and they oversell and underdeliver, like overpromise, underdeliver. And a lot of those ideas, the company goes bankrupt, and it's like the backers don't end up getting their money back.
Oh, it's a gamble for sure.
Yeah. One such thing, I'm gonna bring up the next one here. I'm so used to looking over there. The scarp, the laser razor. So you're gonna be shaving with laser. Okay. I think this is the one. Let me look here. Okay.
This is how we'll shave in the world of tomorrow.
So this is the company that was Kickstarter and then Indiegogo. So 20,000 backers, they raised more than $4 million in funding. Backers got an email that was letting them know that the company did not actually have a working prototype. They said they did. They had one that, and apparently you can cut hair with certain wavelengths of light, and that's how the laser was going to work.
Okay.
But it allows follicles to be cut when hit with a particular wavelength of light. But a couple hairs, okay, but...
Well, where's the backpack that's going to power that laser?
Right. Well, anyhow, Kickstarter shut them down because they violated the rule of not having a working prototype. Shortly after, they moved over to Indiegogo.
Okay.
And they rose close to $500,000. They're still coming out with periodic updates about lavish, empty meeting rooms, more pseudoscience, and fine-tuning their fibers. So, the laser razor, if you backed it, it's probably not going to happen.
That's the kind of thing. Like if that was possible, that would like make news. You know what I mean?
Okay?
Yeah.
If that was possible and they had a working prototype, do you think they'd be making a razor or a lightsaber?
You'd be making a knife. Yeah, you'd be...
Or both.
Well, what if the laser's only powerful enough to cut hair or something? You could...
Right. Okay, I get a point. I get your point.
But no, that's the thing. Either way, that'd be making the news.
Right.
Yeah, like, if that's possible.
Right. So they got shut down on Kickstarter, jumped over to Indiegogo. All in, like, $4,500,000. That's a pretty good take. At least they're still giving their backers updates. I mean...
Oh, yeah, that's...
Like, I wouldn't even want to be associated with a product, and then it fails, and seeing people like that might have backed it in public, like, hey, aren't you the guy? Give me my money.
Yeah, that's why it's better to have something, to make something first and then sell it. You know.
And what about, you remember the Ouya?
Oh yeah, that was another hype one. Yeah.
Massive hype. That was like what? Like a Linux gaming box.
It was either Android or Linux.
Android, Linux, something. And it was going to play Steam and all kind of... Was it going to play Steam games?
No, it was, if I remember correctly, it was supposed to focus more on like mobile game. That's why I think it was Android.
Okay,
it was going to be like more of like the games you're already playing on your phone, but like a home console version.
Right.
But if I remember, their app store was like piss poor selection.
Yeah.
And like it was buggy, didn't run well. And it was, well, the whole thing was too, it was supposed to be $100. So all of that for a hundo.
Yeah, it was substantially bad.
Yeah.
Like really, really bad, man. I remember when it came out, I can't remember the YouTuber's name. I think Nixie Pixel. She's pretty popular on YouTube. She was a girl, she used Linux. And I think she did videos and stuff. I don't know if she started doing like streaming or something. But anyhow, I remember her talking about it, being hyped about it. That's who I originally heard about it through. I'm like, wow, that's cool. But yeah, it didn't live up to it.
Nope.
So if you, I know you got one more. You haven't even brought it up yet.
Oh, I saved the big best one that everyone's going to relate to.
Yeah. And it sucks, man. Because you're a fan and you just like you can either accept or reject that part, right?
And I'm going to expand it from just the one movie to like all three.
Oh,
because
you're hitting them hard.
well, the prequels,
Yeah,
the Star
prequels.
Wars prequel trilogy, yeah. Because when episode 1 came out, I was like 14. So like when I first saw that, I was like, oh man, like it's a little like something. It didn't feel like Star Wars. You know what I mean? I was like, this doesn't feel right.
Right.
And then going back, then I realized, going back and like watching it as an adult, realizing what was up. But as a kid, I was like, okay, it was cool, but just didn't feel right. And then episode 2, when that one came out, I was like, okay, no, this is all.
What was episode 2? Was that while the pod racing and stuff?
No, that was in the first. That was actually one of the better. That was a better part of episode 1.
Phantom Menace was
Episode 1.
And then Attack of the Clones.
Was episode 2.
And then what was the third one?
Revenge of the Sith.
And that had Darth Maul in it.
Episode 1 did, yeah.
Not 3.
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
What, did he die?
Yeah, in the first. Well, he comes back in the cartoons, but
You sissy Sith Lord.
with like spider robot legs.
Couldn't even make it. Couldn't even make it to the third movie.
No, it's canon. He's like, because the shows are canon now. So Darth Maul is. I don't know if he died in the shows or not.
That was the red and black dude, right?
Yeah, with spikes on his head. Yeah, double lightsaber. I mean, he was just. It's the Boba Fett thing. Like he was just like a cool badass character that didn't say anything or didn't really actually have any character, but he was just
Right.
cool and badass.
No, he wasn't. Okay,
Well, his appeal. Well, okay,
yeah,
like
there was
12, 13-year-old me seeing that in like a trailer. I was like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
that was pretty.
I thought
yeah.
it was cool too.
Yeah.
I just couldn't, like, it was so unmemorable that I
Well,
didn't even know which movie it was in. This many.
Yeah, well, if you were to actually like describe the character, you can only really describe what he looks like.
Right.
You can't just like what was his like motivations, anything like that.
I didn't even remember the double lightsaber.
Yeah. Oh, that was because people were like, that broke people's minds in the trailer. They're like,
that he had the double lightsaber.
Yeah, because like he pulls it out and like, oh, he's got a lightsaber sweep, and then the other side, and everyone shit their pants.
Yeah, and that was just a little bit of hype.
Oh, that was big hype. Yeah.
That was to get you to spend your money.
Yep.
I saw that movie in our local theater, the Roland. Shout out, good theater, classic, old.
Yeah, old school. Yeah.
Keep it alive, man. I'm hopefully seeing Toy Story 4 tomorrow with my kids, wife. If I can get the cat to go and they'll let it in, the cat's going too, man.
Might have to sneak the cat in.
I know. In the popcorn. Wait.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. But
Yeah, I saw it at the Roland. I mean, it was cool to see a movie, to go out and see a movie. Mm-hmm. And this was back before, like.
this is like 99. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't back before. I'm sure you could, I don't even know if they had torrenting back then. You know what I mean?
No, I think Napster was still like a year out or something. Like Napster might have been around or just were starting to rumble.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly, but yeah, there wasn't no on-demand there was no Netflix, no Hulu, none of that.
Well, this was the days of Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Like, you got to go to a store to rent a movie. Yeah.
Right, Blockbuster, that was a huge company.
Yeah.
Like, and they blew up huge and just kept growing and growing.
Yeah.
Like, didn't we have a Blockbuster at one point?
State was the closest.
Was it?
Yeah.
What was the big one that was out here? Where the
Videos Unlimited or
is that what it was?
yeah, or like Hollywood Video or something. I forget. It was
Yeah, I thought it was a
another bigger.
Blockbuster.
No, it wasn't Blockbuster.
Oh well, but yeah, they blew up huge at a time when media was transitioning. Mm-hmm. So kind of a flop. Didn't they go bankrupt?
Yeah, that's the thing. They also had they had their own DVD thing like Netflix, but they were like they were like 2-3 years too late.
Too late to
Too
the game.
late. And the thing was too, you could have dropped that off. You didn't have to mail it back. You could also drop them off too.
Right.
And do like a hot swap.
There's
yeah.
Redbox.
Yeah, it was like Blockbuster.
That caught on.
Well, the service that they offered was like the best of Netflix, like the mail-in part and Redbox, like all
Right.
the all rolled into one. It's just they were too late.
Too late to the game.
Too late to the game. Yeah.
That's that's a consequence. I mean, that's not a consequence. A consequence is losing all your money or losing your backers, your followers. Mm-hmm. Why companies, like, when there is a huge outcry from people, fans of something, and a company just doesn't include a feature or upgrades, or you know what I mean? this stuff and why companies don't do it is just beyond me.
Well, maybe the thing is like, okay, by the time we get it implemented, people might lose interest by then and it won't really matter, and it was a whole bunch of work for nothing.
Right.
That's just an example.
That's part of it. But like, there's stuff that people want sometimes for years, and it's like if you had listened, or the perfect example, like what you just said. Companies don't include a feature set or whatever in a product or a particular service, and then finally do include it too late. That's why it flops, because you took so long to do it.
Yeah.
Why like, it would be like releasing a gaming console today without internet connectivity.
They've tried that.
Yeah, like
Yeah. Speaking of Kickstarters and Indiegogos,
yeah, like why people don't. I mean,
they
some
flopped. Yeah.
some people might want it, but
Not enough.
not enough to make it a huge sell. Like, yeah, one such game, and I bring it up all the time, that could still be a good game had they lived up to their word.
Daisy. Yeah.
I'm actually mad about that game.
Yeah.
You were mad about it too, weren't you?
Yeah. Oh, I re-downloaded because we were talking about Arma like the last time Daisy came up. I think it was off air, and I was like, "Yeah, why don't you just play Arma 3? Because they have like zombie mods
Yeah,
now."
they have Daisy. Yeah, actual Daisy mods for it.
Oh, and for your money, like there's a Warhammer 40K mod. There's there's like a Grand Theft Auto type thing called like Altus Light. Like there's a bunch of different mods. It's basically you get a bunch of different games.
Like,
Yeah.
And didn't the one dude take money and disappear?
Oh yeah. What is it? Dean Hall or something like that?
Yeah, fuck you, Dean.
Yeah.
But anyhow, if you're promising people that are buying your pre-release, what is that, alpha? Or
Early access.
Early access. If people are buying your early access game and you're promising them shit, why the hell are you going to put orange soda and grape soda and handcuffs and rusty handcuffs? Like,
when the zombies don't work.
the zombies don't work.
Yeah, zombies-
the game mechanics, like,
The
all
physics
other
don't
shit
work.
don't work.
Yeah.
Throwing more useless items in variations of that grape soda, orange soda, cola.
Oh, it was a money grab at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm convinced it was just a money grab.
But at the time, that could have been game of the year for probably a decade.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing though. They were building it off like the Arma 2 engine, I think, which was outdated at the time. Like, yeah, there was a whole bunch of weird stuff. Like,
Should have went with Arma 3.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, and if you want to see a good example of how fun a game like this could have been, Frankie on PC, some of the where he is playing an Arma 3 mod or whatever.
Oh, speaking of like, I've been watching like a funnier one, or well, no, not necessarily funnier, but
If I was gonna say funnier, I don't know about that.
somebody who's still doing it. Somebody who's still doing. I found Remy Down Under.
Remy?
Remy Down Under.
Isn't
yeah.
that one of his like people
plays-
that played with Frankie?
I don't think so. No.
No?
I think that was Jack Frags.
Oh yeah. So he's not making videos anymore?
Frankie, I haven't seen
Got
one.
you into being a lawyer, huh?
Yeah, I
Or whatever,
guess so.
a barrister or
Yeah,
whatever he
that's
went
what
to
it's-
school for.
Yeah. That's what it's called, over the pond or whatever. But
Yeah, I don't know, man.
yeah. But yeah, I don't know, man. But yeah, so yeah, go like Frankie on PC, Jack Frags, or Remy Down Under. They'll show you that Arma can be pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially the way, I mean, and granted, it's not really how the game's played. They're playing a game, acting out parts for some of it. But
Remy will give you like, because I've been watching the 40K ones, and they have
Right.
like a commander view and stuff, and that one plays out pretty cool because there's actual like big battle skirmish, like bigger battles,
right.
and but Frankie like used it more as like kind of like machinima, like as a sandbox, like make a narrative.
Right.
Yeah.
And he would tell a story, and dude, the stories were great, entertaining.
Yeah,
You go get a couple friends, have them play the same game, have them act out different parts,
yeah,
and then have something massive happen and end the story there and have it pick up in the part 2.
yeah.
Yeah. Great storytelling. I mean, that dude, I don't know what he's doing being a barrister. develop games, to write stories. Some of that was genius stuff, dude. Like, really.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
hey.
he cranked out a lot too.
Yeah.
There was a lot of episodes for Arma and Daisy.
But yeah, Daisy, I liked it. I was hooked instantly. You told me about it, and this was years ago. What was it, 2012 when
Yeah,
that came
well,
out?
because we were playing Rust. Have we played Rust yet?
No, we hadn't.
Okay, I think Daisy kind of like pissed us off. So we were like, hey, I have Rust, and that's kind of
I'm like, and that's where, because I'd been watching Rust videos at that point, and I think like,
we jumped in right when it moved to like new Rust from like the Legacy Rust.
right.
And Legacy Rust still had like zombies and crap in it, and like then they took the zombies out of Legacy, and then there's no zombies in Rust now.
Right. Can you still play Legacy Rust?
I don't know.
Is there a way? Or did they?
I don't know. There was the Steam summer sale going on, so Rust was really cheap. So I think there's an influx of players.
I knew there was a huge, like a lot of people that would, I don't know if they would live stream it or if they would record the videos and then edit them and upload them. Some edited, some live streamed it. Like when they would, go deep or whatever. Somebody opened their door, they'd run in the base. Back in the Legacy Rust, there was quite a few people that were popular for doing that.
Yeah.
Like running in and just like gunning people down. I don't know. I watched quite a bit of that, but that's what I was watching was the Legacy stuff. When you're like, let's try Rust, I'm like, I don't know. And then you're like, no, like
It's new Rust now.
watch this, and I watched it. I'm like, all right, sold, yeah. Because I didn't really like the old one. I didn't like how it.
The feel was different for sure.
And kudos to the team making that game to take and develop it as far as they did with Legacy.
Yeah, and then scrap
it and start over.
like this isn't gonna work, and then boom, yeah, like I'm pretty sure new engine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, do you remember any of the stuff we did when we were in Rust?
There was a lot of base building, and then like people that were like really good with like guns, like in clans, fucking with us. Then
Right,
Yeah.
right. But do you remember any of the different places we stayed?
I remember the one fort that had like the big square wall, like the outer wall.
Yeah.
It was like in the rolling hills.
And there was that glitch where you could just like spawn rockets into your inventory.
And I think we got towards the end, we started getting into like building the bases, like glitch them under like the river mouth, like
Yeah.
the river where the river would start. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. But no, my favorite time out of all those, we had that very isolated on a high snowy mountain
Yep.
out.
Remember that one because like the base down from us had like refineries and like oil pumps and stuff, and we just go use
Yeah,
theirs.
we could
and raid
use
them.
their
Yeah.
resources.
Yeah.
And we built and it was like nothing. We kept it like a little.
Oh, it was small and it tucked into like a cliff. Yeah.
Yeah, that was great fun, man. We're gonna have to play Rust again.
We're gonna have to play Rust again.
We'll see if we can. I don't think we can do an episode while we play, but I think we could do a video.
Yeah.
We'll upload a video to whatever YouTube.
Yep.
Here maybe. Rust, good
Rust
game.
is fun,
Check it
yeah.
out. Didn't people get kind of mad about that, like them doing away with the legacy? Wasn't there like kind of some people that were like,
They kept it going for a while. Like you could play Legacy,
yeah,
but as of now, I don't know. But no, I most of the player base went. I think like there may have been. Oh, of course, there's gonna be a couple people who are like, meh, but
yeah, babies.
I don't remember it being that big of a thing.
Just some of the players that exist with that game too.
They're all cunty trolls.
Not really, man.
Not all, okay, but like,
There's some players.
yeah,
Like, have you ever watched
okay.
Shacky?
There's a lot of cunty trolls. Let's say
Yeah,
that.
there's too many.
Yeah.
But there's some actual players like Shacky. Have you ever watched him?
Mm-mm.
Dude, he's I don't know what he's doing playing games and streaming, but he should be a voice actor.
Oh, okay.
Like, yeah, definitely be a voice actor. Trousy's another great player. Like, there's some people that like, and you can see it. Like, if you watch some of the content these people are doing, playing these games, and they're like, oh, so-and-so just hopped on the server, and they're like, what? I'm out. And they're like one shot, you know what I mean? Like 1-2 shots, and somebody on the far side of the map's dropping, or the far side of the screen, because they're so good. And somebody else would come on the server, and they're like, I'm out. And they leave a band, like, wow. Like, what are you up against?
Dang.
I could never get that good at one of those games, dude. I could never get, do you know what I mean?
I can get good at games, but not like not that superhuman level.
No.
Like,
I couldn't even get halfway like to that superhuman. I could get okay, where as long as I don't run into one of those people,
I could
I might get a kill.
like some games like the first Black Ops, I could get like almost 100 kill streak. Like Battlefield 3. This is back when I had more time though too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Battlefield 3, like I could get it like the long range sniping in Battlefield games, stuff like that. But yeah, just not to like the level. Not to that level.
No, that's like superhuman.
Because like, yeah, I would, I could do the long range sniping, but like I'd miss a couple shots. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
But to like, some people were making crazy shots without even scoping.
Yeah.
In that game, just bang, and it's like, I don't even know the distance in game, dude. But it had to be like.
Well, what they do is they train, like, because like you'll have like, you may not even have any reticle, but like they know like the spot in the center of the screen
Where it's gonna
hit,
and they just gotta line up the whoever.
From there, they're like, okay, it's in that sweet spot, but just pull up, bang. Yeah.
Another thing too, and we didn't bring this up, and this is, I'm glad that companies take a stance on trying to do away with it. Hackers ruin a lot of really good games.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? And I don't know. Could you imagine playing a game from that standpoint, just to go in and strictly cheat and ruin other people's day?
No.
Like that doesn't even sound fun.
Where's the challenge? Yeah.
Okay, that sounds like oh Tim's on there. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and piss him off for a minute, but then I'm gonna, hey, it was me, dude. I just trolled you or whatever. I ruined your day.
I could see that.
But to day in, day out, just play that way.
That's you like.
It doesn't seem like fun, man.
When you run into like the, like I've watched like a lot of YouTube videos where like they get confronted.
Yeah.
And they all seem like not that well adjusted folk,
Yeah. No.
Like the super trolls of the Cunty McTrolls.
Losers. What are you doing? Ruining games for people daily.
Yeah.
Ropes on sale. Your local hardware store. Go get it. Quit hacking.
Nick's preferred prescription.
I don't know. If there's a lesson to be learned from any of it today, what do you think it is? Don't give money to strangers.
Don't give money to strangers.
Unless you have product in hand.
Yeah, make it before you try and sell it.
Yeah, make your product before you sell it to somebody.
Yeah. You don't walk into McDonald's and buy the promise of a cheeseburger, You buy a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got the beef, they got the buns, they got everything to,
We'll send that to you when we make our next billion.
Yeah.
Not only that, let's go on about this for a minute. Like, we should have a meeting, like an actual meeting, like going over one of these products. Do you know what I mean? Like, we should do, like, what?
Oh, I've seen like a couple people I've seen do that on YouTube already.
You know
where,
what I
like,
mean?
They look at iDubbbz. He would do what was it called? It was like Kickstarter crap. Yeah.
Right,
He would just like he would find like a few things and just bash on them for like 20 minutes. But yeah, I could do so. That'd be neat. Yeah, we could do something like that.
Yeah. Just like, all right, backpacks exist. Phone charger battery packs exist.
Yeah, you put a portable charger in a backpack.
Yeah.
I can grab my power bank and throw it in a backpack.
How can we take everybody's money? Anybody got ideas?
Yeah.
Let's put Wi-Fi and a power cell in a backpack.
Oh, like you can't go buy one of those jetpacks or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hold on, we're gonna sell a Kevlar sheet for it too. Like, come on.
Yeah. Oh, I saw somebody do that. They're like, "Hey, I made my in the video he made his Wii U portable." Like
Yeah.
the gamepad, and you see him like walk around the park playing on the gamepad. And you're like, how the hell did he do that? And he's like, oh, the Wii, like the actual console is in my backpack with a battery.
Yeah.
Like it's like, oh, okay, then yep.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Just some of the ideas. It's people hopping on the bandwagon too late. Mm-hmm. Some people hop on too early.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the.
I mean, there has been stuff that pans out on Kickstarter for sure. Like,
and then there's stuff that totally flops, that later on gains such a cult following You know what I mean? Like when like movies, especially when their original release, they failed. Like Waterworld.
Yeah, that's a pretty
That-
well-known flop.
That was one of the last movies where they were building sets.
Oh
like
yeah, they had like a
building
huge.
actual.
They had like a huge like wave pool and stuff. That they, yeah.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
monster! That and I think they were shooting in Hawaii, and then I think there was two Kevins, Kevin Costner and somebody else named Kevin maybe, that weren't getting along, and it kept holding production up, and that cost so much money.
Yeah.
And like the one set that was in the water, I think it ended up sinking, so they had to pull it back up and rebuild at some point. That was one of the last movies where they actually made the sets, like not make a little piece and then green screen the rest. Like it was a legit big set,
Yeah.
and you have like hundreds of actors, like stand-ins and stuff. And by the time they would get everybody boated out there, it's time to start carting them back for lunch on the water. Like it was just such a
But you
huge.
can't pack. You guys can't take a bag lunch.
I don't know, man. Like it was. If you want to see a failure, check out Waterworld. Like,
It's not that great. I mean,
well, no,
the
check out like the the production of it and the failure. Yeah,
behind the scenes of
the
it.
behind the
Yeah.
scenes of Waterworld. Like the movie isn't that great.
It's not that great. It's not that bad though either. It's
Right.
long. It's really long.
It
But
is really long.
it's kind of dull. Yeah, it is long.
And there was a couple points at where Kevin Costner and whoever else was involved they were working along, getting ideas out, getting it, bringing it to fruition, and then they just have a disagreement, and one would want to do this, the other one would want to make these changes, and yeah, it was just a whole big shit show for the entire production, and I forget what it cost and what it actually made, but it was massively a flop, and years later, it doesn't have like a cult following, but it has somewhat of a following. There's people that like it.
Well, people know about it. Like
Yeah.
it's in the zeitgeist. You know what I mean?
Well, whenever you say it, people are like, "Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
It's a bad movie." But it was one of the last let's build this set,
yeah.
build it to life-size scale, have actors on it. Which kudos, that's how most movies used to be made.
Well, they would always use like there was special effects going way back. It just didn't look that good.
Right.
You could tell. Like stop motion. I forget, some kind of projecting. You know what I mean?
Did you see the new Monsters movie with like Godzilla and maybe Mothra?
The new Godzilla. No, I haven't seen it.
Is that out yet in theaters?
Think so.
Isn't it called Monsters or something like
No,
that?
this is Godzilla something.
No.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I want to see it. But one thing, like I kind of like those movies. I'm partial to them a little bit, like the old monster movies, even though some of them were flops. I mean, have you seen any of the old ones, like Mothra, the old one?
Like a couple, because my one friend who grew up like watching Godzilla, he was like,
Right.
He's like, here's the Godzilla formula. He's like, here's what exactly is going to happen. Like,
Right.
boom, 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 and it was one he hadn't seen. He comes back, he comes back like he was doing something. And the movie's over. He's like, how did it go? And like, yeah, exactly how you said. He's like, yeah, that's the plot to every Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like some of them. Some of them I don't. What I'd like to see though, is take today's technology with making stuff, but not so much the special effects, but just like making props, making costumes and whatnot with today's tech, and make an old style Japanese horror movie, like how they made them back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see a current day movie made like that.
So it's still a guy in a suit, but it's a nice suit.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Nice suit, nicer cameras, nicer lenses. Better audio. Yeah, I think it could be. I don't think you would make the millions that you'd put into the movie. It'd probably be a flop for the most part, but I think you would speak to a lot of classic monster movie fans if they're that are still around.
But is there enough of them? That's
Right.
The question.
That's the question. Is there enough? We should make a campaign for it.
I think there was a movie they were trying to do with like all classic animation, by hand, and they're like, that's just going to be way too much, and like who's going to are that many people going to go see it to make it,
You the old ways of doing stuff are still relevant, and people still do some of it today. But if you ever want a good insight, and I'm sure you know this, Tim, and we both do. If you want to hear somebody talk about stuff and how stuff's evolved over the years and has a good grasp on, Adam Savage. He worked for
yeah.
Industrial Light and Magic.
Yeah.
He has his own workshop where he does stuff. He builds props.
Yeah.
Does his own crazy Halloween costumes, but he gets in depth with some of the stuff that techniques over the years he used for different jobs, and it is fascinating.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, wow,
I watch.
that's how they did that.
What's he Tested, the YouTube channel?
Yes.
They have like Adam Savage's 1-day builds. Those are always fun.
Yeah. Did you see the Blade Runner blimp?
Not the blimp, no.
Dude, watch that one.
Well, I gotta say, I haven't watched any in like a few months.
Have you even seen Blade Runner, the classic one?
No, I haven't.
It's a long one. It's a long one,
yeah.
dude. But
And there's like 4 different versions. Yeah.
watch the longest one you can find.
Yeah.
I think it's the extended director's Blu-ray, blah, 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 whatever. I don't know, but it's great. That's the one I prefer to watch. The original's good, too, like the theatrical. Yeah, but it's a good flick. I don't know if you like that type of stuff, though, but hey.
I think I could get into it. It's just, yeah.
Definitely not a flop. Time is the big thing, man. Time is always the limiting factor.
Yeah. I guess the thing I gotta, like, it's gotta be a movie that, like, my kid will be okay with it being on.
Just some
And,
violence.
Well, yeah, and then, yeah, that's what I'm talking
There's some
about.
violence.
Yeah.
Wait till she gets older. You can
Yeah.
revisit all these movies and watch them.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. I hope to do someday.
Well, yeah, it's just once I can like watch more adult stuff when she's like awake. Well, she'll be doing stuff. She'll be older and doing stuff too. So
So, don't give money to strangers.
no, don't give money to strangers unless. Well, I mean, I don't know everybody at every restaurant.
How did people get past the stranger danger aspect of just because there's a flashy product promised on a page, like give me your money and you will one day have this,
It's that flashy thing, and then feeding on the
keeping their eye on the prize
and, feeding on their desire
instead of the
yeah.
shady dude that's promising you the prize, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, don't give your money to strangers. Just send us all your money instead.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Wait, don't we qualify as strangers?
Well, they
Yeah.
can at least get to know us by listening. So
Yeah, but we're still going to be strangers. What if they're on the other side of the world?
yeah, but they'll be a stranger to us. We won't be a stranger to them, though.
A true story, true story. All right, man. We're going to get out of here.
Okay.
It's been a fun one today. I like some of the stuff we talked about. Some of it I didn't agree with.
Okay.
Would you have bought an Apple gaming console? Compared to
No, because I didn't get an Xbox until like the very end of the 360.
Dude, I have an OG Xbox here.
We had like the one apartment I stayed in. We had one, but it was at the time when the 360 and PS3 were out,
So you had the original Xbox where it
yeah.
had an X on it.
and it wasn't mine. It was like the apartment's Xbox. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They're fun though. They're great for making an emulator box today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing with it.
There you go.
Putting a lot of classic games on it. Anyhow, we're going to get out of here. I was just going to check the chat, even though...
No, it looks clear.
Yeah, that's what I said. It was be a sad, lonely place. I did send a message out for everybody, but hey, you can't win them all, man.
Someday.
Try new formats.
Well, we get more on audio than anything else.
Yeah,
so.
anybody that does catch it, though, our social media link should have been popping out throughout. I haven't been watching it.
I've seen it jump there.
Okay, there you go. Tim's on it, on the ball.
Well, now I don't see it now that I say that, though.
Yeah, but there's a long pause.
Okay, it's going. Yeah.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, right.
That's us. At @just_shilling if you can't read that.
That's a good one. Glad you got that one.
/ ASC Live Show, Facebook. We'll shill right at the end. And Antisocial Experience, not podcast. I changed it.
Okay.
Antisocial Experience on YouTube. Look us up. Check it out. Thank you for listening,
When are
watching.
When are we going to start putting bits in the crawl there?
What do you mean?
When are we going to start putting bits like joke tags in there?
Joke tags?
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's a ripe opportunity to throw a joke in there, man.
Right. But it's kind of like just like a social media icon thing.
Yeah.
It's weird how it's set up. Anybody that does this stuff will know. But yeah, you can't just like put whatever you want. I mean, you could, but it's going to have a social media icon beside it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can work with that.
Yeah, right? Anyhow, people, have a good week. We will be back hopefully next week
We'll be back next week.
with another one.
Yep.
We're not giving any preview. I don't like giving out part of the story ahead of time because
Yeah.
then it's like,
Well, it might be on a different day next week. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what if I give up? Well, you know what I mean? What if I'm like, oh,
Oh, and then it doesn't. Yeah, I know what you mean.
and no, like we can't find anything worth talking about. Like how
Oh,
we gave the preview of the hype flops.
yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, let's hold back.
It was a good conversation though, man, because some of the stuff I actually almost got into. Like I was gonna back it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that backpack.
No, hell no. The Razor.
Come on. Man.
Dude, I was hopeful. I didn't give them money though. Like better judgment took hold. Like,
Yeah, like oh yeah, that can't possibly work.
like I'm gonna go light this money on fire with my lighter.
Yeah.
And it will be better use because I'll get heat from it than I will get from that razor.
Yeah.
A laser razor.
Hey, they're still giving updates though. That's what you get.
That's a good place to end it.
Yep.